Chapter 15 Close Shaves in an Unfair World. Here's a journal entry I wrote in English class the week of Annette's accident. It was actually on topic, which would have been a nice change of pace for Miss Palma if I had let her read it. The assignment was if you could pick one word in the English language to describe the universe, what would it be? Why? Here's my response: unfair. Unfair, unfair, unfair. What do you call a planet where bad guys stroll through life with success draped around their shoulders like a king's cloak, while random horrors are visited upon the innocent heads of children? I call it Earth. You want examples? Just this week, my friend Annette, over there in the third row by the way, was voluntarily taking groceries downstairs to her basement pantry. Now that right there is a meritorious feat. Most of my friends stopped doing volunteer household chores in about fourth grade. But wait, there's more. She went to step down the first stair and realized her cat was snuggled up there. Rather than trample on the innocent feline, Annette attempted to do a little leap over said animal while balancing over 47 cans of cat food in her arms. Now, this girl has a lot of God-given talents, but the grace of a ballerina is not one of them. So she lost her footing and tumbled down the steps amid a clanking metallic hail of small cans. And when her parents responded to her pitiful yelps of pain, A, her mom stepped right on that darn cat anyway, and B, they found Annette's crumpled form at the foot of the stairs, head stuck to a pile of shopping bags by static cling, right arm twisted unnaturally into some sort of mathematically improbable three-dimensional rhombus shape. And Annette's right hand is pretty important because the girl's a piano prodigy. Okay, was a piano prodigy. Thanks, God. But wait, there's still more. My little brother, Jeffrey, you know, the one that used to be a happy, healthy, normal kid until he was struck out of the blue by cancer, was making a semi-rare appearance in his kindergarten class yesterday. He's been absent quite a bit this year, what with the constant trips to the hospital to try and save his life and the total shutdown of his immune system and the frequent bouts of high fever and all. Anyhow, a new kid moved into the class, and he didn't know about Jeffrey's condition. So Jeffrey went up to him and said, "Hi, I'm Jeffrey. I'm 5. Are you 5? My brother's 13. Do you want to be friends?" And the new guy replied, "Hi, I'm Adam. You're bald." I know it sounds weird. Jeffrey has certainly noticed a total lack of hair coverage on his head, but hearing it from another kid devastated him. Evidently, he had thought other people somehow couldn't tell he was bald or something. Whatever, when this kid said, "You're bald," Jeffrey burst out crying. He barely spoke all night at home, and about 10 p.m., 2 hours after his bedtime, I walked by his bedroom and heard him sobbing in his bed. This part of the book kills me. Super, super sad to think about that he was okay with losing his hair, but in his mind, he just didn't seem to accept that other people saw it happening. I asked him what was wrong, and he told me about the incident at school. Then I asked him why he hadn't told us earlier what was wrong, and he said the saddest thing: "I didn't want you to find out I was bald too." Killer, killer, killer moment. Uh, that him saying that always hits me pretty good. So now, my baby brother, who has leukemia, has the added curse of a self-conscious humiliation too. Unfair, unfair, unfair. Really, if that were the only word in the English language, the only word in all the world, the sum and total of all the human expression across the long millennia, it would essentially cover all the bases. Everything else we say is pretty much irrelevant. Maybe if Miss Palma had been allowed to read the journal entry, she would have understood why I shaved my entire head the next night. Whew. I was standing in the bathroom getting ready for bed, and this little Gap Kids baseball hat that was sitting on the ledge by the sink. I was thinking about how Jeffrey had worn the hat everywhere he went that day, and I was wondering whether he'd been keeping it on his head every minute for months just because of one innocent comment some kid had made. And I was thinking, who cares whether the little rugrat meant to hurt Jeffrey? He did, and now there's no way to take it back. But when I heard Mrs. Galley's voice saying, "Instead of agonizing about the things you can't change, why don't you try working on the things you can change?" There's that again and again. You keep hearing that advice coming up in his head. And I realized that no, I couldn't grow Jeffrey's hair back overnight like he was some kind of mammalian chia pet. And no, I couldn't retroactively sew shut the mouth of the new kid who had unintentionally broken the news to my brother. But I could show support for Jeffrey. I could be bald too. I took out my dad's electric clipper and buzzed off my whole head of hair to shorter and shorter lengths until I thought it would be easy to shave with an electric razor. Then I started in on the actual shaving portion of the festivities. Now, okay, I've never even shaved my face before, so perhaps I should have figured out this wouldn't be a quick and painless procedure. But the same experience that made me cocky also made me unskilled. And it hurts using an electric razor on your head hair. Every few minutes, the razor would either get jammed with hair and need to be cleaned out, or catch a chunk of hair and rip it out of my scalp. When I was about 3/4 of the way done with my gruesome task of charitable self-mutilation, my mother barged into the bathroom. I heard a strange buzzing noise in here. What are you... Oh, Stephen. Surprise, I'm running away to be a Buddhist monk. You like to do? There is his sarcasm again. Stephen Richard Alper, what are you doing? I just told you I'm... Stephen, shut up! Holy cow. Now there's something you don't hear every day at our house. You are going to tell me the truth right now. Do you understand me? I'm tired. We're all tired. We can't be putting up with any of your teenage... I did this for Jeffrey, Mom, so he wouldn't have to be bald alone. Oh, Stevie. All of a sudden, my mom understood. I think she was probably even impressed. She stepped through the mounds of hair all over the bathroom tiles and put her arms around me for a long, long time. Then she pushed back from me, held me at arm's length, and turned me around like I was a side of beef, and she was a chef sizing me up for a barbecue. Give me the razor, I'll finish this job. If I'm going to have 2 bald sons, at least they'll both be presentable-looking bald sons. In the morning, I went down to the breakfast with a baseball cap on. My whole family was already down there, which is not the norm. But my mom had rushed everyone down so I could make a grand entrance, and I had dragged my feet for the same reason. I poured myself a bowl of delightfully sugar-encrusted cereal and sat down at the table. I could tell from the look on my dad's face that he knew the deal and was dying to see my newly cleared scalp. Jeffrey had no clue. Love this part. Of course. And didn't even look up from his toaster pastry and juice. After a few minutes, during which the only sounds were our little mini symphony of slurping and crunching, I guess my dad couldn't take the suspense anymore. He told me to take the hat off of the table, young man. So just as Jeffrey looked up, there's nothing he enjoys more than watching me get a good lecture, I whipped off the cap. I wish you could have seen his face. It went from puzzlement to alarm to puzzlement, and then finally to a shy little grin. I love picturing that shy little grin. What do you think, Jeff? I did it last night after you were in bed. You look so handsome this way, I thought I could get the Jeffrey look too. I think maybe now all the babes will love me the way they love you. Jeffrey's smile got larger and larger, until it was as big as Christmas. He jumped up and hugged me. Then he pushed away, looked at me appraisingly for a long time. When he finally switched off the x-ray eyes, he said very solemnly, I don't know, Stephen, you look okay, I guess. But it'll take more than just a haircut to turn you into a handsome babe magnet like me. Honestly, where does a child get this stuff? At school, my plan was to do the hat trick again until some teacher made me take the cap off. That would have been a swell strategy, too, if it hadn't been the windiest day of the whole year. As I stand at the bus stop with Renee, a massive gust whipped the sucker right off my head and down the sidewalk. I'm sure I've looked more suave at other moments than I did right then, running up the street in a crouch, trying to jump on the flying headgear while carrying all my books, my pate shining in the glare of the strong morning sun. I finally got the hat pinned under my foot and looked in a momentary triumph just as the bus pulled up. Well, at least I finally stole the show from Renee Albert for a minute. I was the talk of the bus. Annette wasn't on board. Turned out she was late because of an orthodontist appointment. So I sat next to Renee. She looked at me in an odd kind of silence, usually only seen in 3-year-olds who are meeting Barney for the first time. Then she shook her head as if to clear it and spoke. Wow, you must really love your brother. Nah, I just really hate my hair. Good sarcasm again. Okay, once in a rare while, I do come up with a decent line under pressure. When I got to school, word raced around the building, and I was like a king of the island for a day. A couple of my friends thought I was nuts, but everyone else, especially girls and female teachers, thought I was, so sweet. I was pretty pleased with the outcome overall, although I did have a complaint. The top of my head was freezing. Love that chapter. I love it. And there's some more good stuff coming. So this whole stages of grief we talked about, Now, I don't think Steven fully accepted it, but obviously now, with the help of the advice from Miss Galley, he's thinking, okay, we're going to deal with this. I can't change that Jeffrey has cancer. What can I do to make things better for him? I can't change that he has it, but I can do some things to try and make things better. And that's kind of part of the whole accepting it, is accepting that Jeffrey has this, but they can also make his life as best they can. So awesome chapter. Love it. We will have chapter 16 next. Bye, guys.